Are you the kind of person who gives years of loyalty, who stays dedicated even when no one is watching, only to find out you were never valued the way you thought you were? That's not just disappointment, that's betrayal, the kind that doesn't leave a scar on the skin, but settles deep inside, in your chest, in your stomach, in the way your voice trembles when you try to talk about it. If this resonates with you, take a moment to subscribe, not just for more stories, but for reflections that remind you your peace, your truth, and your dignity in work, in friendships, and in family are worth protecting. Some call it betrayal, others call it being taken for granted. Whatever you call it, it leaves a weight you didn't have before. Naomi had been part of the same team for over a decade. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't the kind to draw attention to herself, but she showed up early, prepared, ready to do whatever was needed. Maybe you know someone like Naomi, or maybe you are Naomi, the one people can always count on, the one who keeps things running, often without anyone noticing how much you do. Her colleagues knew she could be counted on, or at least she thought they did. It was a Thursday morning when she overheard something in the hallway. Two managers talking about changes, decisions already made. Her name came up, not as someone they needed to keep, but as someone whose role could be absorbed. If you've ever heard your future being discussed like it's just another agenda item, you know that sinking feeling. At lunch, she told her friends. The first was Claire. Claire had been in the same company for 20 years before leaving. She knew what betrayal felt like. Claire said softly, "Naomi, I know it hurts, but you have to remember, some people will take everything you give and never see its worth until it's gone. Don't let them decide what your value is. Protect your heart, because once bitterness settles in, it's hard to let go." The second friend was Marcus. Marcus had a different energy, bold, protective, the kind who steps in when something's wrong. He leaned forward. "You've got to confront them. Don't just sit and take it. If you've given this much for this long, they need to look you in the eye and explain why they're doing this. And Naomi, you can forgive them for what they've done, but forgiveness doesn't mean trusting them the same way again. That's how you stay wise." Naomi sat there, caught between them. Claire's wisdom felt safe. Marcus's push felt necessary. But mostly, she just felt the sting, that after all these years, she wasn't being fought for. If you've been there, you know, that's the kind of pain that lingers. The official meeting came a week later. It was polite. It was scripted. They thanked her for her contributions. But Naomi could tell the decision had been made long before this day. She sat there listening, her mind bouncing between Claire's gentle reminder and Marcus's voice telling her to demand answers. In the end, she spoke, calmly, clearly. "I've given more than my time here. I've given trust, and that trust has been broken. I can't change your decision, but I can decide how I carry it from here." Maybe you've had to say something like that, a sentence you never thought you'd need, but one you say to reclaim just a little bit of your dignity. They nodded, polite, unchanged. A little while later that evening, Naomi met Claire and Marcus at their usual cafe. She told them exactly how it went. Claire reached across the table. "You know, I've learned that when trust is broken, the real danger isn't the person who betrayed you. It's what happens inside you after. If you let anger grow, it keeps you tied to them even after you've walked away. Letting go isn't saying it was okay. It's saying I'm not carrying your actions inside me anymore. That's how you keep your heart healthy, because everything else in your life flows from there." Marcus leaned back. "I hear you, Claire, but I also think you've got to learn from it. Betrayal has a way of showing you who's really on your side. I'm not saying hold a grudge, but don't be naive. If someone shows you they'll use you, believe them the first time. Guard your trust. Guard your time. Those are your gates. Not everyone should have a key. Naomi listened, thinking about what both had said. She sipped her coffee, then spoke quietly. I thought my loyalty meant we had the same commitment to each other, but commitment isn't always mutual. I can't control how they treated me, but I can choose where I give my loyalty next. And next time, I'm going to invest it where it's valued, not just needed. I'm not going to grow weary in giving my best. I'm just going to make sure I'm planting it in the right soil. If you've been in Naomi's shoes, you know how tempting it is to shut down completely, to stop trusting, to stop giving. But here's the quiet wisdom in what they each said. Claire reminded us that bitterness poisons the one holding it, not the one who caused it. Letting go isn't for them, it's for you. Marcus showed us that forgiveness can coexist with wisdom. You can release resentment and still protect yourself from future harm. Naomi's realization teaches that your loyalty is like a seed. It will grow in the right place, but wither where it's not valued. Naomi left that job. It wasn't easy, but she walked away without letting their actions define her worth. And maybe that's the choice you need to make. Not just to leave a place or a relationship, but to walk away from the need for their approval. Because sometimes the greatest victory over betrayal is knowing it didn't change who you are.